guys, I'm Member. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if it's your first time. So for today's pick a card, we're doing This Message Was Meant to Find You. We have 4 piles. This is pile 1 with this beautiful rose quartz cloud. This is pile 2 with the howlite cloud. This is pile 3 with the clear quartz cloud. And this is pile 4 with, again, another rose quartz cloud. So take your time, go to whatever pile you feel intuitively called to. The links to the piles will be in my description box, and then we will get started. Hi, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So for today's pick a card, we're doing This Message Was Meant to Find You. And you guys picked the rose quartz. And I have pre-shuffled cards for you too. So let's check out your first card. So your first card is Surrender. Let's see what else you have. You have Deep Cellular Healing, Arcturus Energy, Physical and Emotional Healing. We have You Got the Love, Hadarian Energy, Codependency Boundaries. We've got Commitment with 36 for 36. We've got Movement 28. 39, Protecting Treasure. 22, Intention. And 41, Unexpected Visitor. So I think it's interesting I said 11. It did look like an 11, but it's interesting. So if you've been seeing 1111 a lot lately, then this is extra confirmation for you. So what I'm seeing with your reading is that you've just undergone something very major in healing. I feel like somehow whatever you just went through fundamentally changed you at a core level. Like whatever happened to you, there was such a major transformation. And I feel like I've been seeing this a lot, especially with Pluto and Aquarius and Saturn and Pisces happening. It's like the transformations that are happening right now are so massive and on such a large scale, but also on like a very personal scale. And I know for me personally, I just went through a major transformation and feel completely different than I did, let's say 3 weeks ago, which I know is crazy, but that's kind of how healing works. You go through a very strong period of pain for maybe a long period of time. And then when you come out of it and you learn the lesson or whatever it is, you get that relief, but you also get like the tools and the beauty that you learn from that lesson. You'll never lose that. And so there's something here about, I feel like it happened with a relationship or some type of situation that caused you to value yourself in a different way, in a more full way. It taught you boundaries. I see Queen of Swords, so like maybe you've gotten better at discerning energies, and specifically, I feel like a lot of you were carrying a lot on your back. So with this movement card with ostrich, there's like it's moving, but it's carrying all this stuff on its back. I'm sorry, it's not zooming, but. There's something about you carrying a lot of weight on you while you're moving and you're like doing it anyways. And I feel like whatever you've just learned was like taking some of that weight off your back. And there's like commitment here. And I think that there was some type of commitment in some area of your life that had to end, that you may have ended, that they may have ended, that the situation ended in some way. And what that did was help you recommit to yourself in a very strong way. And I feel like this deep cellular healing and this surrender card and this codependency and boundaries was about learning about the relationships that aren't working for you, the relationships that aren't valuing you, and the relationships where you feel like you deserve better commitment in that you weren't getting previously. And whatever transformation you went through has something to do with self-worth, value, self-esteem, like holding yourself in a higher space, having really strong boundaries, and like not letting just anyone in for anyone's sake, like for any sake, you know, like it's not just like letting them in because they're there and they want to be in. It's like there's like a strong, I see a castle and I see a strong wall, and it's like I see you in front of it. Like if you want to come in, you have to like you have to like meet me where I am, and I'm not going to just let you in my life because I don't need you. There's something about like strong feeling of like being good on your own, strong feeling of like I have myself and I feel very strong in that I don't need anyone to make me happy. And maybe there is some relief and freedom in that, and like feeling like, oh my gosh, there's something about something finally clicking for you in your values for yourself, and a recognition of some way deeply in your core about how you don't need anyone else to make you happy, that you're going to be able to provide what you need better than anyone else can. I get a strong sense that you're very compassionate and kind, and there's something here about you're becoming someone, like you're shedding old skin and becoming newer, and there's something that's being birthed that's from a place of very strong sense of self, and you have the ability to be compassionate and use that on yourself, and it's extremely strong. And I just feel like there's something, whatever you just went through, it like birthed a place of strength for you. I hear resiliency from spirit. And then like this deep cellular healing, like whatever you just healed you at such a core level that it's going to change your whole life. Like when we heal something at such a core level, when we go through such a pivotal transformation, it's going to translate very strongly inside and then translate outside. So there may be people that you're connected to energetically that are feeling this transformation, and or I always feel like we're very deeply connected energetically. So if you're very connected to someone, even if you haven't seen them in a very long time, or you're not meeting in the 3D, I believe that when one person transforms, it affects everyone, and especially the people that you're close to or you have been close to in the past. So I feel like there's something here about healing something at such a deep cellular level, and it moving outward, and then the people you're connected to, it affecting them. And then I kind of always see it like this, like someone transforms and the other person kind of like has to meet them, or like feels that transformation, and you can either decide to move up or not, right? And there's something here about having an unexpected visitor come in, and I feel like you've gone through this transformation. There's something about you changed, and so now your outside world is changing, and now that may cause unexpected visitors to come in because you've changed yourself at such a level that it's so deep that it's affecting your world, the world in general. And there's something about an unexpected visitor showing up, and it could be your soul tribe, it could be someone you know, it doesn't matter. There's something about the transformation and it coming together, and it calling in something different. It's calling in something more. It's calling the people that are around you to raise their vibration, right? It's calling for that as well. It's also calling to the people that are at your vibration now. It's also calling to the people that you've been with before, like that they could raise their vibration and change and transform. So there's something about you, by going through this transformation, not only did you affect yourself and transform yourself, this is affecting the collective, it's affecting the world. And there's something about, thank you. That scared me. Hold on. Sorry guys, that freaked me out so much. Like I literally, my heart just went, woo! I don't know if it's like channeling or whatever, there's something, I don't know. I freaked out. And so I also want to say though that it's interesting. I was like sitting, I was sitting with it for a second, and I'm like, okay, there may have been something that freaked you out about this, or it may have been very unexpected. This transformation that you went through was very unexpected. It could have caused a very strong upheaval. It could have caused a very strong sense of fear and or trauma response that happened in response to this. So I don't know why that just happened. It could be nothing, right? But I always, like when I'm channeling, especially, like I'm always like, if something happens, sometimes it's to let me know, like, this is what's happening in the reading, and this is what's happening with this person, right? So I just want to, like, you know, preface that I got super freaked out. Like my heart rate went up so high, and there is something here I feel about like this transformation, whatever, maybe it's like ending whatever this was. It caused a very strong sense of fear, a very strong sense of like, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's always just fear and pain and sadness that we're going to go through the most transformational stuff. And I feel like whatever you just went through was very strong, very painful. It feels relationship to me. It feels like something ended. It feels like you had to go through some transformation of healing, of letting go of somebody and moving forward because of whatever reason it was, right? I think it's different for all of you because I'm not getting anything super specific about that. But there is just something here about how you had to surrender to the experience and how you birthed and became someone completely new. There is this feeling of protectiveness around you, and that's what's interesting about that fear thing that happened. There's something about like you feeling very protective of yourself. Like whatever this was maybe caused you to kind of feel like, now I need to really protect myself. I don't want to get hurt like that again. There's something here about that. And so whatever it was that caused you that much pain and fear and sadness, there's something about like you protecting yourself, and it's not bad, right? It's actually, when we go through things like this, that's kind of normal. It's very normal. And I have this too. Like I just left my relationship a long time, and I'm feeling that strong protective energy of like, I don't want to add anybody that just doesn't need to be here, and that like just can't meet me where I'm at. And it's like part of my healing of like, I don't want anyone that's going to not come to me healed, that's not going to come to me and value the relationship that I'm bringing. And I think that that's what you've learned. It's like very similar to what I'm learning right now. And it's good to be in that protective mode because you have boundaries. And I feel like maybe from before, it may have not been easy to have boundaries with people, especially with people you felt a connection to. But there's something here about even the people that you have connection to, you're having boundaries. I feel like you're able to use your voice more. I feel like you're able to speak more. I feel like you're able to be more honest and decisive and like, this is how I'm feeling and this didn't feel good and this hurt me and this wasn't like right. And not in like a unhealthy way, but in a very healthy way. I don't know if you've been a people pleaser before. I am a total people pleaser. That's also a trauma response, and it's a coping mechanism. It's fawning in fight, flight, or freeze. Of the trauma responses, it's fawning. And so I don't know if you have fawning or people-pleasing tendencies, but there's something here about your people-pleasing tendencies kind of like feeling safe and being able to be like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. Like I need to speak my truth. There's something here so strongly about needing to speak your truth, needing to say how you feel, needing to move forward, needing to have people in your life that love you, that are gonna back you up and be there for you, and that are not going to neg on their commitment or not show up for you or like not heal or like not work on themselves. Because I truly deeply am like honored that like I have people that come to me that are at this level of healing, because I don't know why before I started readings I always kind of thought like most people don't heal, and maybe that's true, but for my collective and what I've found in tarot readings and that I've been doing for my collective is that like a lot of people have done so much healing, and it's like this is a level of healing that you don't reach unless you've gone through a lot of stuff. And there's definitely something here from childhood as well that may have also got healed through whatever this was that ended. There was something, a connection between the ending of the whatever it was that I'm talking about here just recently, and then an ending or I hear neglect situation with your childhood, with your parents or with someone around you, or someone, I hear there could have been a lot of loss when you were a child, maybe grief. There's something here over here in your childhood about that. And so what I think maybe you don't realize is that when you healed this ending in this relationship and stood up for yourself and you're like, I'm in my power and I don't need anyone, that healed a deep childhood wound at the same time. And that's why it's so deep. It's because it's like this, whatever this was that happened now triggered this major massive healing that translated into childhood, and you healed a major childhood wound. And that is why it may feel so satisfying, so relieving, so just like exciting. Like I kind of feel like you're ready to meet the world in a different way. You're ready to like be more of yourself. This is about getting to the core of who you are, stripping down all the shit, all the thinking, all the crap, right? And it's like getting down to the core of who you are and moving from that space, and like truly deeply wanting to move from that space and wanting to move from a place of authenticity, a place of a strong communication, a place of strong boundaries, and a place of I know what I need and I really need it to be that way. And if it's not, then that's okay. That's okay. And like accepting people where they're at. that's also in this a little bit too. It's like understanding that you can't have expectations of people. Like if they choose to not heal, then that's not your fault, and it's also not your job to like control or make it different. And I think that that's also something that you've learned in this process, is like accepting people for where they're at, but also like taking charge of your own life and your own person and being like, I need to move forward if you can't meet me in this relationship that I'm meeting. And that is totally beautiful. But maybe you have not felt like you could have done that in the past. Maybe you felt like you weren't able to speak for your needs, or you didn't know what you wanted, or whatever it was, right? But there's just this deep clarity of truth, deep clarity of what you need, and deep clarity of understanding that it's okay to ask for what you need, that you want to ask for what you need, that you need to ask for what you need, and that there's nothing wrong with that, and that your feelings about things are strong. I feel like you're a strong thinker like me. And there's something about like getting really connected to your emotions and like feeling the grief and whatever it was, right? The commitment grief that you just went through, and the childhood grief and or the childhood grief. Because I believe it's an and situation for a lot of you. It doesn't have to be, but there's something here about feeling the grief of this ending and recognizing that it could have been a childhood wound, feeling all of the wounding, right? All of it, like letting the grief like come in, like feeling it, and like placing importance on feeling the grief and placing importance on taking your time and processing. And there was a lot of processing that happened here. And so I just think that you've done such a good job. And like, I hope you give yourself the fact that this is like really, really amazing. And that like it took you probably a good amount of time to get to this point, but it's like, trust that it's been healed, trust that you're on the right path, because you are. And this is just going to get you more connected to yourself. And it's like that feeling of connection to yourself is extremely, extremely important. And I think you've recognized that through this process. We've got the Tower in reverse. So I always take the Tower in reverse as like somebody brought their own tower down. Like the Tower upright is like all about like chaos, and people can, what happens is Tower upright is like foundations get broken down and like that aren't meant to stay up, but it happens through like a circumstance. But what I take as the Tower reversed, I take it as you decided to break your own foundation down, the ones that aren't serving you, the ones that aren't working for you. You broke your own foundation down to destroy it, to build up a better foundation for yourself. That's what I'm seeing this as, especially with this commitment and like the ending that I'm feeling and the grief that I'm feeling. And it's like you went full force and faced the grief and the fear and the sadness, and like face the fact that like this tower isn't meant to stay up. And like, how can I move through this and hold myself like with such care and gentleness and kindness? And how can I move through this in a very strong and safe way? And also, how can I feel my feelings even though they're freaking uncomfortable and very, very strong? So it's, wow. I'm just like really impressed with you guys. This is very, very interesting. We've got 8 of Wands. We've got the World, which I have to cover up, of course. We got the World. I don't know if it's covering it. I'm like, is it covering it? We got the World, we got 8 of Wands. So you've got 2 movement cards, which I think is very interesting. I feel like this movement was in this ending. What's this movement in, Spirit? I just want to see. There it is. I said there's this movement in this ending, and then the Death card comes up. I love it when that happens. There's something, yeah, like you just went through a major ending, a major death and rebirth. I love Scorpio. It's Scorpio card. It's also just, and the World is Saturn energy. And there's something here about your structures not being like disciplined. And Saturn and Pisces may have affected you to make this change. Because I believe that you made this tower come down. I believe you ended whatever it was. I believe that you broke your own foundation down and you went into this and faced your stuff, which, by the way, is extremely, extremely evolved and extremely hard to do. And just that alone is amazing. Just that alone. So then we have the 8 of Wands, and there's this movement in the ending, right? The ending, the transformation, the beautiful like rebirth, but also like the World's about endings, but also about structures because it's Saturn. And there's something here about like you understanding that you need to build a stronger structure, and that Saturn is all about tearing down the structures that aren't working and like building up better structures and taking your time. There's something here for you about taking your time. You've taken your time and you're continuing to learn how to take your time. I think it's very difficult to take your time. I have a very, very difficult time with it, but that's not the point. The point is that you just went through something really major, and I hope you're giving yourself major props for what you just went through. We've got Page of Pentacles. We've got the Empress. It's interesting because I was pre-shuffling and I saw the Empress as well earlier. There's something about you wanting to experience more. Empress is Venus energy. There's something about you wanting to experience more, something where you want to experience more opportunities, experience this beautiful Chariot. It's like you're holding it together really well. You're balancing it all through all of this. Like to have the Tower card next to the Death card, it's like whatever you just went through was probably one of the hardest things you've ever been through in your life. And I don't want to even, like, it's hard because I'm like doing snapshots of energy, right? And it's not like giving it the heaviness, I guess, that it deserves. But whatever you just went through was so massive and so major, it probably changed your whole life. Like whatever choice you just made, whatever thing you just went through, whatever situation just happened to you. But it was for the hope and the belief that you were going to have new opportunities, new experiences, and better balance in your life, and a better understanding of yourself and your own energy, and not being affected so much by others' energy. We have 10 of Wands, very not surprising at all to have 10 of Wands. There's a lot of burden you're carrying right now because of what you just went through. King of Pentacles. There's something here about a King of Pentacles figure in your life that could be helping you financially, or there's something here about them bringing stress financially. There's something here about that, or it could be a boss bringing stress. There's something about a person who is, let's say, good with money, financially stable, secure, very strong, but also slow moving and very practical, right? Very, very practical, right? There's something here about the King of Pentacles and the burden that it's causing, and or it could be too. Now that you've moved into this new place, you're looking to level up to be the King of Pentacles, or you're feeling the burden of being the King of Pentacles, which is like having to provide for yourself, having to support yourself, having to be like on your own and like doing it all. There's something about that burden of that. And like having the burden of that be very stressful now that you have to do this massive thing. And it's this is another thing. It's like taking time to understand that, like, anytime we try to build up something, like me with my readings on YouTube, like it's taking a minute, and it's probably gonna take a minute. And it's like slow, consistent action, which Saturn, by the way, Saturn loves slow, consistent, beautiful, strong action. It's no quick fixes, it's no magic bullets. So it's like taking your time. So it's something about like taking your time and taking very small, slow, strong steps consistently, having the discipline, but also like letting up on the fear of like everything's gonna fall apart if I can't handle this. And while that may be true, I'm not saying that it's not true, there could be a level of fear here that's also coming from a childhood wound. Anytime there could be there could be some kind of mindset from childhood where you didn't get what you needed, and you always felt this pressure to like that everything was going to fall apart if you guys didn't get what you needed, right? And so it's like trusting that as long as you take consistent, strong, disciplined action, you're gonna be this beautiful King of Pentacles, but not just the burden will lessen the longer and the more structured you make it. You just tore a massive foundation down. It could have been connected to your financial status, and it's like understanding that foundation had to be torn down, but it's going to take time. Saturn takes time. It takes time to build a business up. It takes time to do these things, especially if you're moving into a whole new space, which I feel like a lot of you, the transformation that you just had probably changed every single area of your life: career, friendships, relationships, even what you like and how you feel about things. Like that's how big this transformation was. So we've got Ace of Swords, 3 of Wands, and 8 of Pentacles. So yeah, this was about you walking away because you were looking to the future and you told yourself the truth. You had a major epiphany of clarity. Some of you might have not walked away, but I'm getting that a lot of you have. If you haven't walked away, that's what you're thinking about. And this is what you're going to be going through. Everyone's on a continuum of where they're at and how it's going and blah, 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 right? So yeah, I'm just really feeling like you guys have just done an amazing job. There's a strong sense of like needing a better future, wanting a better future, a more idealistic future, a stronger future, something that's kinder, something that where you feel more alive, like where you feel the sun, where you feel joy, where you can experience and be this empress, this beautiful empress that you already are. But it's like experiencing new opportunities. So we have, I just wanted to check some astrology. We have Scorpio twice, guys. I just think it's so interesting. And also we have Pluto in Aquarius, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So that's just interesting. I think a lot of people keep getting this card. Scorpio, intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. It's just double confirmation that whatever you just went through changed you at such a fundamental level. I cannot say it enough. Libra, consideration, fairness, and harmony. We have water, spirituality, emotion, intuition, and compassion. This whole thing, right? This whole thing was about rebalancing your life, rebalancing yourself, rebalancing your life, rebalancing the things that you want to do. And there's a lot of rebalancing in this, in what you just went through. And it's like getting connected to your spirituality, your emotion, your intuition, and your compassion while you go through this major change, major rebirth is going to be so pivotal in helping you. How can you find compassion? How can you find rest? How can you figure out a way to assuage the fear? How can you figure out how to find a moment of peace, a moment of calm? And can you reflect and not let your mind go off and do nutty things and go off and tell you all these crazy things, worst case scenarios, because it's meant to keep you safe, but it can be very exhausting. Yin, intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. Your spirituality, again, the trust, the patience that you're going to have for yourself. Those are the key things. Compassion, kindness, intuition, spirituality, patience, understanding of yourself, and not being so hard on yourself, not putting more extra pressure on yourself. This is enough pressure as on its own. Going through what you just went through was probably one of the hardest things that you ever went through. So, wow, pile one, I am just so blown away by you guys, and I just am commending you for going through this. It's been really hard. I'm sure it's been very, very, very hard, but it's also bringing about this beautiful transformation. And if you're not feeling it, you'll be feeling it soon. But it's just a strong sense of self, and a strong sense of what you want, and a strong sense of balance, and a strong sense of like hope for the future. So, okay, guys, I think that's all I have for you. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pal 2, welcome to your reading. So for today's pick a card, we're doing This Message Was Meant to Find You. You picked the beautiful Halite Stone, and I pulled some cards, pre-shuffled cards. So your first card is Movement. Your second card is Starbathing, Light Body, Crystal Grid Transmission, and Activation. Your third card is You Got the Love, Hadarian Energy, Codependency, and Boundaries. We've got 50 Compass. 51 Moonlight. I think it's interesting, 50, 51, right? We've got 17 Ghostlands. We've got 27 Home. And we've got 48 Wishing Well. So I think this is super interesting. Wow, I just feel like you guys are going through so much. I feel like the whole collective is just going through some major things, very different things, but major life changes, major things happening in the collective and in the world, I feel like right now. At least that's what I'm getting as a reader, right? So there's something deep here about you going into your subconscious, in your quiet, getting really quiet, going to the space of Ghostlands. It's like finding that it's major movement and healing. There's something about major movement and healing, something about you going really deep into like your core self, getting very connected to your core self, very connected to the moon, very connected to subconscious energy, very connected to your childhood. There's something deep here about going into your childhood wounds. There's something deep here about, I see like empty hallways and like you searching and like finding, it's almost like finding gold and finding the treasure through moving through these ghostlands, through moving through this space that is scary, that may not be traversed a lot, right? It's like you're going into places you've never been, and it could be internally, but it also could be externally. It doesn't have to be internally for all of you. It could be externally, because there's also something about like you could be like exploring your Chiron wound or Chiron wound. I don't know how to say that one. Whatever. My point is that you could be exploring your wound. There's a wound that everyone has in astrology, right? Mine is in Cancer. Chiron and Cancer. And that's all about like this feeling of abandonment, especially because like people that have this wounding had something really, really terrifying or very upsetting happen in childhood that caused them to feel abandoned, right? So it's like there's something here about you healing something that's a core wound, something that's very strong. It could be astrological, it could be just connected with your childhood. It doesn't matter. It kind of all boils down to like healing a core wound. And this core wound has to do with feeling at home with yourself, feeling like it doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. All I need is myself. There's something deeply being healed here about that. And there's like this compass. Like I love this compass card. It's like home and compass. It's like finding yourself, going through the ghost lands, getting deep into like the subconscious or in your life, right? Going through the space, coming and with a compass, like with the compass of the hope that's leading you. That's what I'm seeing. The hope that's leading you home. Right? The hope that's leading you home and it leading you to your wishing well, which is like your wishes and the hope of the star. Like I see the star and it's like the star is all about our dreams, like our highest, most intense, most beautiful dreams that we want to go after. And there's something about something deep being activated within you that is not just about healing a core wound, but something deep activated in you that has a connection to creativity, excitement, joy, what warms you, what makes you want to get out of bed in the morning, what makes you feel that feeling of passion. There's something being ignited. I feel like your passion's being ignited. I feel like through this wounding, through the transformation and the healing that you're doing about this wounding, there is a strong sense of finding yourself through this journey of going through these ghost lands, going through this space of like, I don't know, like it's just barren, right? Going through the space of like getting connected to your feelings, getting connected to your emotions, finding your soul, finding your higher self, finding your core self, finding your core self and recognizing that it's home and like having this epiphany of like, this is home and this is where I need to be and I don't need anyone else. I don't need anything else. How can I be okay with me? It's like you're asking yourself the questions of how can I be okay with me? How can I love myself more? How can I move better, more flowing in my life? How can I activate myself and my dreams more? How can I go after my dreams more? How can I have better relationships, better friendships, better career, better passion, more passion? And it's like almost like this understanding of like not wanting to live your life by the rules anymore, not wanting to live your life by society's rules or society's expectations, your parents' rules, your parents' expectations, or even the expectations you put on yourself that are not healthy. There's something about breaking free of expectations of what people expect of you, the rules, the society, like how it works, what it's expected of you, and this like shedding of this mask, this skin, and being like, I'm stepping into, wow, I just got major ringing in my left ear. It's like I'm stepping into my power. I'm stepping into, there is something so freaking strong. It makes me emotional. There's something so freaking strong about this. It is so strong. I've never got ringing in my ear in a reading, by the way. So I just like want to explain that whatever I'm talking about right now is so, so important that Spirit's like, listen. This is important. What you're doing is so important. It's so beautiful. And I don't know why this is coming to my head. So I put stars in my thumbnail and I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but there's these stars and they look exactly like that. There's definitely something about moving towards your star and like getting really connected to what that is, right? Because sometimes I'm having another ringing in my ear. Sometimes we can have wants and wishes, but we don't really know either how to get there or what they completely are. And there's this consolidating and understanding of and getting more connected to what do I want? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? What people do I want to surround me? And how can I gain a better support system for myself? And how can I be a better support system for myself, right? To myself, from myself, right? And the transformation and the level that this is and the core understanding of yourself at such a level is so strong. It's pile one similar, but it's different in a way. It's different in the way that you're coming to it and the way that you're understanding yourself, and it's manifesting a little bit differently. It's similar, but it's different. I just think it's really interesting that the collective is going through something so transformational, and you either will choose to decide to do this or you won't. And I feel like you're going in the ghost sense, you're going in your subconscious, you're finding your home, you're finding what you want, you're looking at what you want, you're moving forward and just wanting to, like, there's a snake here. This is a snake, right? And there's this understanding of movement, of transformation. It's like maybe you've just come to the conclusion of like, I cannot be in this skin anymore. I cannot fake it. I cannot not be authentic. I cannot wear this anymore. It is not serving me. And maybe it has served you really well in the past, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? We all wear masks from time to time in certain areas of our life where we feel more comfortable or where we don't. It's a protective mechanism, but maybe you're recognizing how this protective mechanism once helped you is now hindering you in going after what you want. And I think there's this major shedding of, I can't do this anymore. And it's becoming more uncomfortable to stay safe than it is to take risks. And there's this understanding of wanting to take the risks, wanting to be ignited, wanting to be activated, and understanding deeply that the way to do that is to, how do I shed this skin? How do I feel comfortable with myself? How do I give myself what I need so I don't need to wear the skin? What healing do I need to look at? Where do I need to go? What do I need to look at? And I think that that's what this moon's about. It's like you're looking at wounding. You're looking at why you need this protective mechanism, and you're looking at how it's hindered you and why, and also how you can improve it. And it's all about taking baby steps. This is a massive transformation you're going through, but it's definitely connected to feeling comfortable in yourself, feeling comfortable in your skin. It's like feeling comfortable and confident in your skin. It's like you want to feel confident, and it's beautiful. It's like, and the way to feel confident is to love yourself. And I think that's what you've recognized, and that's an epiphany that maybe you've had. Some of you may have had this epiphany a while ago. I'm just saying some people might have just had the epiphany of like, oh wow, the way that I'm going to be comfortable and going after what I want is to be comfortable with myself. And the only way that I can do that is by not being so hard on myself, loving myself, choosing people that will champion me and value me, and also being around people that are encouraging and make me feel empowered, and making empowered choices and taking risks even when I'm afraid, especially when I'm afraid, and not holding yourself back from going after what you want. And it's beautiful. And there is this building energy of like building up to take a risk. There's something about building up to take a risk. There's something about that. There's something about building up to take a risk. Your energy is building for something. I don't know what it is. It's something, it might be different for all of you, but your energy is building towards something. Okay. Death, which is Scorpio. Not surprised, because major transformation. This is major transformation energy. Major. Spirit, what is this transformation in? Just want to see. Feeling left out in the cold, which is 5 of Pentacles, and we have 8 of Pentacles. I want to see what you're working on. Maybe it's like working on not feeling like left out in the cold, not feeling like that, like not listening to the fear mindset, not listening to the part of you that's like, you're going to get hurt mindset, right? And it's like you're working on something. What are you working on? Yeah, you're working on the Ace of Cups. You're working on loving yourself, filling your own cup up. It's like filling your own cup up and finding people that can fill your cup up. The dove is really speaking to me in this one. There's a higher understanding of what you need. There's a higher understanding of what love is. It's almost like you had a transformation in understanding what love actually is and what it feels like and what it's not. It's like, I don't know why I'm saying like a blueprint of like what love is with like what love is, like writing down what love is, and like what love is not. Maybe you've done lists. Maybe you're consolidating in your head what it is and what it isn't, and then seeing how it's connected to maybe what love was modeled for you in childhood and what it was and what it actually is not, and seeing how they connect, because trust me, they connect. I've actually done this before. They connect. Trust me, they connect, right? They just do. Like being attracted to someone that is unavailable, right? My father was unavailable emotionally, like not a crazy thing to think about, but it's like something like that. And I think you're getting really connected to what you thought love was in the past and what you are now recognizing love is, and not being afraid to work on your idea of love, loving yourself, working on yourself. There's a strong sense of working on yourself, We've got Ace of Wands. There's that passion being born. King of Cups. There's a strong sense of like you having a very strong involvement in your emotions and also helping others with emotions. There's something too about you being a leader and helping other people with their emotions. There's the Page of Cups. There's an involvement of giving yourself the opportunity to have relationships that give you a bigger cup of love, that's more evolved, that's a stronger, higher level, that can meet you at this King of Cups energy, which is where you're at. The Emperor. So what I'm feeling with the Emperor is that this Emperor is this mask. That I was feeling that earlier. Emperor is Aries energies. I don't know where the mask is. There's no mask. I don't know why I'm saying that. I just feel strongly that you guys have made like didn't try things or even wore a mask. I don't know if it's just technically wearing a mask. There's something about not trying risky things or not going after what you want completely because there's been a fear of fear, and also there's a strong feeling of control. So this Emperor is all about like willpower, and like you have a very strong willpower and you know what you want and you go after what you want. But this Emperor can also have parts of it that is about controlling and like not letting freedom happen and like not letting joy happen and like not being very creative or passionate. It's like, so it's just interesting. So I think that you're learning about how this has held you back. You're learning about love is more of the answer than you thought it was. And you want to be reborn into passion and reborn into freedom while maintaining that strong sense of discipline and strong sense of motivation that you do have. And working towards a better sense of love for yourself and what that is, and love for others. And letting love for others, letting yourself receive love from others. We've got 10 of Wands. That's not surprising. 10 of Wands, there's a lot of burden and stress that this has been causing. That's not surprising at all, especially with this major transformation. We've got 6 of Pentacles. I think that you're just looking at how you have given to yourself in the past and how maybe you haven't given yourself as much as you could have, and how maybe you've given other people more than you've given yourself. I don't know. But there's and 7 of Pentacles. So it's like you're looking at I feel like you're looking at past relationships, past situations, seeing where there was an equal give and take, where there may have been a deficit in one party or both in giving themselves love or showing the other one love in the way that they wanted to show them. Holding back, there's just this holding back energy. And the transformation is not holding back anymore. The transformation is letting go and moving into freedom, moving into love of yourself, moving into a deeper understanding of things and a deeper healing. So I wanted to get some astrology and see what else is going on, and then I will finish up this reading. It's really interesting and very strong. I'm really proud of you guys. This is really strong energy. Aries and Scorpio. That's interesting that you guys have Aries and Scorpios. Trine, angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow. There's something about you consolidating all of this stuff that you're learning and consolidating it and putting it together in a perfect alignment to bring about something really beautiful in your life. There's something here about building up your energy, creating a conjunction of what you've learned, not conjunction, but a trine of what you've learned, and putting it, I just feel like I almost see this strong amount of energy being built, and you're pushing it out of yourself into something else. And whatever that something else is going to be like catapulted up, and there's a tandem effect, right? Like, so let's say you're doing like a project and you're building up all this energy to put in this risk, whatever it is, and into this project, and then that project, by the energy that you're building up, is going to explode. So there's something here about even a relationship, right? Maybe there's a relationship that you've held yourself back from for some reason that you never let yourself have, right? So it's like you're building up this energy to then go and like have the strength to tell them how you feel and give them this beautiful, strong energy of like, this is my transformation, this is how I've changed, and this is what I want. Can you meet me where I'm at? There's something about that here. So whatever you're building your energy towards, it's different for all of you. Whatever you're building your energy towards, there's a strong sense of this is what I want, and I'm going to put everything I've got into it and not be held back by the control that I've put on myself, not letting myself get held back by my fears, my sadness, or I don't know if it's going to work out, and just going for it and putting my fire energy into it and my emotions and my love. House 11, friends, like-minded groups, and humanitarian beliefs. Some of you could be joining a humanitarian cause, and putting your energy into that. Doesn't have to be that, but there's something about you being a leader of a group of people, you being a leader and your friends, you being a leader in some way in transformation. Whatever you're learning here is meant to come outside of you and go into changing other people's lives. There's something here about you being a leader, changing other people's lives. Whoops. Wow, that's way too many. Sorry, guys. We've got house 9, spiritual growth, not surprising at all. House 4, oh my God, did I say house 4 when I said home? I said house 4. Yes, I did. I believe I did. I was thinking house 4 when I saw that card. Whatever, it doesn't matter. House 4, cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. There's something about you changing your home life, about changing and going back to the roots of who you are and getting stronger roots and a stronger foundation. Sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. We've got house 5, passion, play, children, confidence, and creativity. We've got Venus, give and receive love, find value, and see beauty. And we've got house 8, transformation, karma, facing fears, and legacies. There's something strong about you leaving a legacy behind that from this transformation, you're going to leave a legacy behind, and you're looking at how do I consolidate what I've learned, and how do I put that into that, and how do I move forward, and how do I put all my beautiful new energy of freedom and play and creativity, and how do I transmute that into something and transport that into something that's really beautiful, and how do I have that beautiful flowing energy of this is what I want to do, I'm going to put my energy into this, and then it's going to take off. It's anytime we have this amount of energy for something, there's a very good chance, a very, very good chance it's going to work out. So I just want to say, I am so insanely proud of you guys, Pile 2. And wow, I am so proud of you. And I think that you're going through something super major. And yeah, again, I'm so proud of you. So, okay, guys, I think that's all I have for you. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So for today's pick card, we're doing This Message Was Meant to Find You. Your cards are Take Risk, The Great Severing, Mars Energy, Anger, Conflict, and Softening to Love, Weight of the World, Boundaries, Let It Go, It's Not Yours to Carry, 13 Solitude, 44 Strength, 3 Wizard of Awareness, we have 14 Ride the Wave, and 15 One Ring Circus. So I actually started your reading and put all the cards out, and like had to stop because I felt like there's something here about you going through a very like a dark night of the soul and ego death, something about feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And I think you're having, maybe some of you are having a hard time thinking or having a hard time understanding what's happening. There's a deep transformation happening here with a severing in an attachment. I hear a severing in a wounding. There's severing in your feeling like you have to always do something to be loved. There's something like that. There's a severing of your attachments to unhealthy coping mechanism that's happening here. And it says, let it go. It's not yours to carry. You may have in the past carried on other people's stuff because you felt like you wanted to help, right? But also there may be an energetic thing of like you carrying on people's pain a little bit more and not realizing it, right? But there's something here about you're letting go of the weight that is not yours, the weight that has never been yours that you may have taken on. It could also, what's interesting right now is that it could be like, so if you've had a tough childhood or just a tough upbringing, there could be energy that you are letting go of that has culminated since childhood, that you are finally figuring out, like, I don't need to carry this anymore. There's something about letting go of wounding, letting go of like the weight of the energy that was put on you when you were a child, or just the energetic darkness that was around if you had a hard childhood. And there's something about finding your own strength. It's interesting, right? Because we have the strength card and this woman is holding this world, right? And it says, let go of the weight of the world, or you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's not yours to carry, right? So through this, right, it's like has a world and she's gained strength by carrying it, right? But also there's strength. You're realizing that you can be strong and let this go and be even stronger because you don't have to carry it, right? It's like, that's what I'm feeling at least. And there's something about a big wave of emotion hitting you, a big wave of a difficult time. And that's why I was like, I started channeling and I was like, why am I blanking? What is going on? And I'm like, I had to take a second and like take a minute because it's like there's a lot of energetic emotion that you are transmuting and letting go of. And so when that happens, it can cause confusion. It can cause like blanking, mind blanking, like that was happening to me. It can cause this feeling of like not knowing what really is going on and kind of being confused about like, how do I make sense of my world? There's also the solitude card. I don't know why the solitude card is really speaking to me. It's like you're maybe getting more connected to solitude, to being alone. The severing could also be with certain types of relationships that you've had in the past, or your attachment to certain types of relationships. It just depends. But there's something about keep riding the wave of the emotion and the pain, because the wave is going to pass. Whatever this is, this big upheaval, and it has to do with a great severing of something very fundamental that has been fundamental for you, has been in your life for a long time, or has helped you in some way, but is not serving you anymore. So understanding that there's a really great reason that maybe things feel a little bit like nuts, especially if you're going through an ego death as well. Like it could be just a spiritual thing. It doesn't have to be great severing of like a childhood thing, but I feel like strongly there's some kind of severing of a wounding, could be connected to childhood. There's something about severing long-term relationships or relationships that have been long-term or staples in your life that are not connecting to you anymore. And it's a wave of grief that could be hitting you, or a wave of fear, or a wave of pain. And it's like understanding that that wave is here, but it's not going to last forever. And like once you get through that wave, the healing that is gonna be happening because you rode the wave and made it through and like gained so much strength from like doing that, you're gonna come out with a lot stronger of an awareness and a lot stronger of a feeling of confidence, and also a lot stronger feeling of like, I am okay with being alone. I am okay with having solitude, being in meditation, being in stillness, because you may be reflecting strongly, because we have this wizard of awareness that looks like the hermit to me. And the hermit's all about inner reflection, solitude, being on your own, like going on the journey of like finding the light. And there's something here about you finding the light, but having to sever the darkness, by having to sever the darkness, by having to transmute the darkness, by having to take this risk. Like it is a risk to sever like things, even if they have been good for us over time, it doesn't mean they're always going to be good for us. And anytime we sever anything that's like integral, that like we think we need to feel safe, or we think we need to feel loved, or we think we need to not be alone, anytime we sever something like that, it is going to cause such a great amount of grief and just such a great amount of fear. And it's like you had to take the risk to do this, or you're thinking about taking the risk to do this, right? And it's like, I think sometimes we don't take the risk to go after like severing a really strong relationship because we're afraid of this wave of emotion, this wave of grief, and being alone. And there's something here about you finding your inner strength to follow your heart, to follow what your soul is calling you to, and to be alone. Like that's what I'm feeling. And it's like being alone, it does not mean lonely, right? It's like being alone and like feeling very strong in yourself and feeling very confident, and like cultivating the strength and the awareness and the confidence while being alone. It's like, it's interesting because it's like, this is what I'm doing now, right? It's like, I don't want to get in a relationship because I've been in one for 11 years and I need time to heal, right? But it's also like, I just want to experience what being alone is like. I don't even want to experience dating at this point. It's like, I just want to experience being alone. I want to experience like gaining confidence on my own, independence, autonomy, authenticity, and like figure out what I like, figure out what I want to do, figure out where I want to go. And I get the sense that you're on a journey of reflecting, a strong journey of finding yourself. This is about finding yourself. This is about figuring out how to love yourself. This is about figuring out how to give yourself, I hear, rest. I think maybe a lot of you have been going very hard. Sometimes when we have like a big upheaval of trying to get stuff done to like let's say end a relationship, like for me, I'm just using myself as an example, end a relationship and find an apartment, right? I had this huge upheaval of anxiety and like, I need to get this done. Very reminiscent of Mars energy, which is what this card's about, Mars. And Mars is like very like, it gets you going, like you have this energy, fire, like movement, like I gotta get it done, right? But then after we get through that stage, then all like, it's like kind of like you go up here and then you come down, right? And I had a lot of depression, like so bad for the first 2 weeks. I like 4 weeks in, but like for the first 2.5 weeks, I had such bad depression that I was getting scared. I was like, I couldn't get out of bed. Like it was a physical thing. And I've had depression before, but not at the level that this was at. And I had to seriously take a break because I was pushing myself still. I was like, I don't want to come down because I don't want to feel the feelings of losing this person that meant so much to me. And I don't want to feel all this grief, right? And so it's like, I think that you're in a similar journey where something upheaval happened, you use a lot of energy, there's a lot of energy that was built, and now you're on the downslope. And it's like understanding that the downslope is just a downslope first of all. And that also like the downslope won't last forever. And the downslope is necessary after that. And also you will go back up, and there is healing through feeling your feelings. You have a bunch of water here, a bunch of water. You've got water, water, water. There's a bunch of water here. And it's like, okay, how can you feel your grief? How can you feel your emotions? How can you face how you're feeling? How can you drop into your body? And how can, if your mind is going off into all these crazy places, like how can you understand that that's a protective mechanism first off? And then how can you like drop into your body and really, I think you're placing priority on feeling your feelings more than you have in the past. There's something about that here too. And it's like, maybe you're prioritizing your water energy, your energy of that it's important that you should feel your feelings, that feelings actually are data, that feelings are actually valuable. And how can I feel my feelings? And how can I process what I need to process so that I can move through this wave, so I can get the healing I'm looking for, so that I can go on my path, so that I can take more risks, so that I can feel stronger, that I can feel more confident, that I can run my own circus, I can run my own life, I can be okay on my own, and there's nothing else that will stop me from doing that because I am okay on my own. It's interesting because like all the first three piles are about people finding their strength on their own, in their own journey, being on their own thing. But like, it's a different type of journey for each person. I just think it's really interesting that it's like coming across like that. But there is definitely for you a letting go of the weight of the world on your shoulders and like not taking on other people's stuff, because your stuff is valuable enough and it's a lot enough. Like it's enough. And it's like, I think you're placing a priority on yourself that you have not done before. And also placing a priority on your wish fulfillment and the things that you dream of more. And like relying on yourself. There's something here about relying on yourself, about finding your comfort in yourself, about figuring out how you're feeling, reflecting. There's just hermit mode. Hermit's very important. I feel like the magician is important too. There's something that you're manifesting here. By doing this, I think you've manifested the ending, the severing. You've manifested letting go of the weight of the world. You're manifesting feeling your feelings. Like, I wouldn't be seeing this if this wasn't something you were thinking about or doing at this moment. You know what I mean? We've got King of Cups. We've got Ace of Wands. Yeah, you're getting okay, so when I'm talking about like getting very connected to your emotions, King of Cups is all about getting connected to emotions, being very emotionally evolved, also helping other people with their emotions. There's also maybe something here about that, about your journey might lead you to helping others with their emotions as well. Maybe it's not right now. Two of Pentacles. What's this Two of Pentacles about, Spirit? So this is about you deciding between the things that make you passionate and the things that feel apathetic, the things that disappoint you, and you're making a decision to choose something better for yourself. You're thinking about, how can I take on better opportunities that don't disappoint me? How can I take on better relationships that don't disappoint me? How can I take on passions? How can I take on things that make me feel fire, things that make me feel alive? You got the King and the Queen of Cups. And there's something here about a counterpart relationship. Hold on, let me see. What is this about, Spirit? Counterpart relationship. What is this about? Page of Wands in reverse. That came out so reverse too. There's something here about a relationship that was lacking passion, is what I'm hearing Spirit say. A relationship that was lacking passion, but you guys seem to have been very emotionally evolved together. But there was something missing, right? And it's like, this may not resonate for all of you, right? But if there was a lacking of passion, a lacking of feeling alive, a lacking of, let's say, I also hear lacking of like moving forward and not becoming stagnant. There was maybe a lack of growth on this other person's part or between you two. There's something here about that. And it's like you're wanting to prioritize passion more, to prioritize being alive more, to prioritize your fire energy more. And the King and Queen of Cups it's like this could also be yourself, the male part of you and the female part of you. The male part of you that your divine masculine or masculine, that's a very strong emotionally involved, and your emotionally evolved self here too. And there's also like this prioritization of like needing to prioritize balance, needing to prioritize like feeling alive, and needing to prioritize relationships that help you feel excited. Every single pile has gotten the death card, which is Scorpio, Cancer. Every single pile. We've got the Emperor, which is Aries. So we got 3 major arcana. Hold on. Interesting. It's interesting because it's similar to pile 2. And I feel like the death is coming to bring down the part of you, which is the Emperor, the part of you that has been holding yourself back or controlling or being very rigid in the way that you live your life. I think that there's this want to let it go, to be free, to let it go. It's like you're looking at how the Emperor, your Emperor energy, which everyone has this type of energy, which is like this structured, disciplined, father, authoritarian, like you're gotta get up and work your job and like don't take risks and like don't have fun, and it's like very like that, right? And it's like you're looking at that and how that has held you back. And the death is in understanding that this part of you, while it is helpful and has helped you and kept you safe, it is now hindering you in some way, and it hasn't helped you grow certain opportunities that you like to have grown or have now grown into and now feel ready to take on. There's something about being ready to take on more, being ready to take on something different, wanting a change of pace, wanting something different, wanting to feel alive. And I think it's interesting, we do have the Queen of Wands here, and I think this is your fire energy being born again through having this Emperor energy be a little bit less stifling, a little bit less critical, a little bit less controlling. The death is in that. And because of that, you're having your Queen of Wands fire energy born again. The sunflower seems very important right now. I don't know why. There's something about your firepower for some reason is still maybe a little bit of a mystery to you because of this cat. I don't really ever notice a cat, but there's something about your fire energy being very mysterious and or could be in some ways threatening to a part of you, right? It could be threatening to the Emperor, right? I mean, we have all these different parts, right? And sometimes parts can be beautiful and work together, and sometimes they can really butt heads. So I'm just noticing that the fire energy and that the Emperor energy may have fought a lot in the past. Like, I really want to do this creative thing and put myself out there and take a risk, go after this relationship. And the Emperor is like, no, whoa, that's not safe. We can't do that. I'm going to stop you right there. The death is in that stopping, right? So now your fire energy is being born again, but you may be having like this confusion over like, what does this mean? And is this fire energy good? Is this bad? Like, how do I like channel it? How do I understand where do I put it? Like, what do I want to do? Like, where do I want to go with my creativity? So there's something here about that. And it's being born, right? It's being born again. And it's not even being born. It was here. It's just being unleashed, right? It's not like there's the page reverse, right? But this is a queen. It's there. It's inside of you. It's been there the whole time. It just hasn't been let out. And so there's this understanding of like, I really want to let this out, and placing more importance on feeling alive, finding my passions, being very fiery, like going after what I want and taking opportunities that don't disappoint me, that bring, again, this fire energy, this wand energy, which is passion, drive, excitement. Wands is all about that. New projects, new creative endeavors, new things that make your soul feel satisfied and feel excited to live your life. There's something deep here about that too. So, okay, I'm going to get some astrology for you, and we will see if there's anything else that's meant to find you in these messages. Anything else, Spirit? The moon. Okay, this is interesting. We've got satisfy emotional needs, nurture yourself and others. So the moon energy can be very confusing. I think there's a lot, that's what I was feeling in the beginning. I couldn't get channeling right because I was feeling this very strong confusion. So I'm hoping this reading kind of clears up some of that confusion, and like this wave will pass. You won't be confused forever. You will find clarity. You're going to gain clarity. You're gaining clarity already. And how can you, while this moon energy is with you, satisfy your emotional needs, nurture yourself? How can you do that? How can you do that better? How can you make it a priority? And how can you make it something that is extremely extremely important to you? You know, and is it important to you? Is it important to you? And if it's not, why? And if it is, can you make it better? That's kind of like what I'm thinking. House 6, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. There's something here about Virgo energy as well. I don't know why. Mutable, surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. And we have house 8, transformation, karma, facing fears and legacies. There's also something strong here about wanting to create a legacy. I feel like you guys are very similar to Pile 2. If you really feel called to Pile 2, I would go watch Pile 2 because it's similar, very, very, very similar. There's something here about wanting to leave a legacy behind that you are proud of, that will be long lasting, that you can stand behind and go, yes, I did that. I did hard things in this life. I did that. There's also transformation, karma, facing fears. There's something about you facing an extremely strong, deep fear here and facing that and taking that risk and going after that. And when we face our fears, especially our biggest ones, there's going to be so much good stuff that comes out of that, so much strength, so much awareness, and you are gaining strength, you are gaining awareness, you are gaining an understanding of yourself that you did not have before, and you're going through a lot. So it's like, give yourself the fact that this is very difficult and that you're doing a great job. And how can you be more fluid, and how can you welcome change more, and how can you surrender to this process? Mutable is here, so there's an ability to do it. How can you get connected to your emotions? How can you surrender to what is, and how can you accept what is, and how can you love yourself better than you already are during this hard time? This is not easy. This is a major transformation. You got transformation twice. It's very strong, and since you have moon energy here, that makes it a lot less clear. So when we go through a transformation, if things aren't clear, it can be more overwhelming than they are when they are clear and when you know what's going on. So understanding that there's moon energy here, that there's subconscious energy, that there's wounding at play here, that you are transforming at one of the deepest levels ever that you may have ever gone through. You're having a severing of an extremely strong thing that's been a part of you for a very long time that isn't serving you anymore but has been saved previously. Can you have compassion for that? You also may be severing relationships and or a job that's not working for you. So it's like, how can you have more compassion for yourself while you go through this beautiful but difficult transformation? So okay, Pile 3, I think that's all I have for you. Please like and subscribe if you want, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So for today's Pick a Card, we're doing This Message Was Meant to Find You. You picked the Rose Quartz Cloud. Your card is the Creator. And I got other cards, I pre-shuffled and got other cards for you. Ready? We have Cracked Open, Rock Bottom, Surrender to the Alchemy of Life. We've got Inner Earth, You'll Survive This, New Solutions and Beginnings. Interesting, I'm already getting a lot from you guys. We've got Coming Apart, 46. I'm like, let's fix the cards. We've got 54, Encouragement. I like the colors, there's a lot of purple, it's interesting. Your crown chakra might be changing. We've got 45, Sad Embrace. We've got 23, Golden Palace. And we've got 31, Dry Desert. A lot of yellow too. Your solar plexus may be going through something. Your personal power may be changing and gaining. So when I was first tapping into your energy, I felt a lot of sadness. And I think that there's some loss that you're experiencing right now. I hear something's come apart. I think it's something externally, but for most of you, some of you, it could be, but here's the thing. I feel like something happened and it made you sad and it caused a lot of loss, but I think it's connected very internally. And what it's doing is creating this ability, you coming apart in some way to come back together whole. There's something about you having two parts of yourself that are separated, and through the process of this grief, through the process of this loss, whatever this is, it's very strong. It's helping you become whole again. There's something about that. It's interesting because we have these two faces that are coming together, and we have these two animals that are coming together, and we have Cracked Open. It's like all these cards are like opening and then closing back together. There's something about you going through a transformation of something cracking you open, and then you finding a way to stitch yourself back together, but in a much more whole, grounded, beautiful way. There's some big lesson that's being learned from this. And or just healing from grief. There's healing from grief here. There's something about you looking for water in a dry desert, and like looking and searching for this water. And I feel like you're looking for yourself. It's like you are looking maybe to other people, to situations, to things outside of you, to find this water, this well of beauty, this well of nourishment, this well of love. And there's something about you coming apart and coming back together so that you can now come into yourself and give yourself that nourishment, that love, that kindness, that support. It's like through rock bottom, through being cracked open, it's like coming apart to come back together. It's almost like I see someone like stitching back, what's it called? A comforter or whatever, you know, when like they stitch it back, or they have all these little pieces that all come together to make a beautiful masterpiece. There's something about that here. And this says you'll survive this, new solutions and beginning, and the creator. So it's like whatever you just went through, it's creating something completely new. You're becoming a completely new person. And I mean, like, you're shedding an old paradigm is what I'm hearing. You're shedding an old paradigm. You're shedding an old paradigm. You're shedding an old construct, and you're creating something completely new in its place. So I think a lot of you have actually gone through the cracked open part and now are putting yourself back together. That's what I feel like for most of you, because I feel this strong healing energy, this strong sense of like a new sense of self, new energy, a new beginning. Some of you may have gone through some type of ending with something and are now stepping into a new beginning and finding new solutions and not being in this space anymore of being in a dry desert. Whatever you did, it was to leave this behind. Whatever happened, it was to leave this behind. Whatever structure fell, it was to leave this behind. It was to lead you back to yourself. This is strongly about leading you back to yourself and embracing the sadness and embracing yourself through the sadness, feeling your feelings, and gaining encouragement from yourself. This is like a lot about like positive self-talk. And I don't mean like you're great. I mean like when you're feeling super sad, what I've done recently actually, and I've done it a lot in the past, it's like creating a version of yourself in your head to reparent yourself. And or just another version of you, or a version of you that like the compassionate and caring kind part of you, creating a version of that. So when you're going through a really hard time and feeling sad and you don't have anyone to turn to, that part of you in your head, you imagine it, right? You imagine that part of you talking to you and saying all the things you would say to a friend. Like, you're going to get through this. Everything's going to be okay. Like, what can I do? What do you need right now? How can I give you a hug? And like giving a hug and like touching and like loving. And there's something strong here about you figuring out a way to do this, you coming to a conclusion of how to do this and coming together in a beautiful, strong, whole way and being confident and calm and meditate. It's just like meditative and reflective on yourself. And it's just very deep. Whatever this is an extremely deep transformation. It comes down to the core of you. The core of you is being cracked open and put back together. Or not even the core of you. It's almost like I see the core of you and then I see an outer ring that's stopping you from getting to the core. And that is cracked open. And you are coming down into it and getting to the core of you through this cracking open of yourself and recognizing who your true self is, your higher self, who you are at your deepest level. This cracked open is giving you a chance to look at the deepest parts of yourselves, get connected to the deepest part of yourself, and love the deepest part of yourself and see your value from the core part of you. See what your innate value is. It's like not what you've done, not who you're with, not who loves you, not who validates you, not anyone outside of you. It's a strong understanding of the core part of you and your ability to see the innate value of that core part of you and that true self and also have compassion for what how you've kept yourself safe, how you've had this outside part of you that has been a part of you that has kept you safe this far, but you are now in a dry desert and it needed to crack open for this reason, to give yourself some water and give yourself some nourishment and relief. It's like all about healing, nourishment, and relief, and compassion, and valuing yourself and giving yourself the whatever feelings you need to feel, and recognizing that you are the creator of your life and you can create any type of transformation you want. It's all about just willingness. And understanding how to be kind to yourself. Like a lot of it is just being kind to yourself and having a good imagination and like using that to your advantage and using tools to your advantage. And it's like, whatever this is about, this is leading you to very healthy evolvement, healthy coping mechanism, healthy tools, healthy understanding of yourself. You're seeing yourself in a brand new way. There's something with fours here as well. I don't know why in fives. 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. I don't know. There's something there with that too. There's something about a copacetic, like everything is so copacetic here, right? We got like the cards are all very similar, like the coming together and breaking apart, coming together, breaking apart, coming together, breaking apart. It's copacetic. I also think it's interesting that there's a golden palace and this card is very golden. And it's like you were walking to find this golden palace and you are looking to the future and seeing this golden palace and recognizing that the golden palace that you've always been searching outside of you is actually deep within yourself. And it's like that realization is so massive. It's like, I can't, this transformation is insane. And it's like, you're sad. Like, that's how I feel. I feel a deep sadness with you. And it's like, maybe you needed to be cracked open so that you could get to that deep sadness, so that you could feel the deep sadness of your whole life. I feel like this sadness has been with you your whole life. And it's like, you're just beginning to get to the deepest part of it. I think you felt it your whole life, but I think you're getting to the deep part of it and you're healing the deepest part of it by feeling it, by being cracked open, by getting to the core of you. And it's like, how can you have compassion for the fact that this is like a very deep, very strong, like core wound that you are actually healing, that you're actually getting to, and that after it, you're going to find so much relief, which you may already be feeling. You may already be feeling or seeing the fruits of your labor, seeing the reward, reward's the wrong word, seeing the healing and how you feel more comfortable in your own skin is kind of what I'm trying to say. 10 of Cups. I think this is about you figuring out that your 10 of Cups starts with you. And it's always started with you. And it's like recognizing that. It's really beautiful, guys. I'm like so proud of you. Okay, so there's, wow, I don't know what's happening. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. We have Page of Pentacles, and we have the Intuition card, which is the High Priestess. There's something about your intuition bringing you opportunities. It's very interesting. That's very interesting. I think you're seeing the dichotomy between, or the opposite dichotomy. I don't know if that's the right word. I think you're seeing the difference between the 5 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups, and like what a 10 of Cups actually is to you, what a 5 of Pentacles actually is to you. So it's like, what is inner fulfillment, family, reunion, happiness, full happy family? What is that to me? What is feeling left out in the cold? What is feeling sad? What brings me sad opportunities? You're like looking at the opportunities in your life and judging them from a very strong intuitive space and seeing which ones have brought you pain and which ones have brought you fulfillment. And finding that like you want to bring more of this in your life and less of this in your life through opportunities. And you're recognizing that if you work really hard, there's 8 of Pentacles, if you work really hard and continue to develop your intuition and develop your ability to feel your feelings, and you're developing your healing journey, you're gonna find opportunities. It's like you're a mirror, right? It's like you're gonna mirror out what you are gaining from this. And what you are gaining from this, again, is extremely transformative, extremely core self, core value, core truth. And through working on this, you're going to put out a different energy and your life is going to change. This transformation is calling in probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest changes in your life that you've ever been through as in healing. And it's like 10 of swords. It's like looking at the endings, looking at what's caused you pain, looking at that. Like you're working at facing that pain. You're looking at why it ended. You're like deeply thinking and reflecting on why it happened. Why it happened, like what went wrong, where was your part, what was the other person's part, what did you allow, what did you not allow. There's 6 of Pentacles. It's like you're looking at relationships, if there was equal give and take, if you got what you needed, and if you didn't, why, and what are your needs, and what were the person's needs. And like you're thinking about how you are in conjunction with the relationships in your life and how they have worked or how they have not worked, and how do you create more celebration, more reunion, more love, more just celebration and love in your life, and maybe better friendships. There's something here about better friendships as well. Queen of Pentacles, You also want stability, long-term stability in yourself. There is the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. Got Cancer energy. Seven of Cups reverse. So this is you getting out of the confusion, getting out of the things that have caused you confusion, and getting very strongly, deeply into your intuition, deeply into balance, deeply into what stability is to you. How to step into your power, how to step into your Queen of Pentacles, how to step into stability in a very strong way, and how do you let go of the things that aren't providing you stability, aren't providing you celebration, aren't providing you like fulfillment, aren't providing you a sense of like strength and a sense of empowerment. And you're stepping into an like empowerment, like you're making choices that are empowering to you. And it's like whatever you're learning right now, whatever this lesson was, it was meant to empower you to make really empowering choices because you felt your own value at such a core level, in such a higher level way, in such a clarity, strong way, that you are now able to see things clearer and like attract things that are going to be really I don't know why I just lost my train of thought, but really strong for you. You just don't want to be confused anymore. And it's like, you're not confused anymore. You're gaining clarity because you're being extremely reflective and you're using your intuition and you're thinking about things extremely strongly. And a lot of people have a very difficult time reflecting. And it's like, whatever this is it's causing probably a lot of brain chatter because it's very painful, but you're choosing to, even if you're having brain chatter, find a way to love yourself, find a way to step into your feelings, find a way to get connected to your intuition, find a way to find better stability, to look at yourself. You're looking at yourself in a very strong, deep way, and that's also what's causing this transformation. We've got Sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential and a rewarding situation. What else we've got? We've got Cancer, nurture, comfort, and protection. You got Cancer twice. So this is just really encouraging you to continue to nurture, comfort, and protect yourself. Continue to nurture yourself. I did give you one tool, which is like creating that fantasy. No, it's not even a fantasy character because it's a part of you. Creating or like getting access to the part of you that is very compassionate and kind, and turning that on yourself and letting go of the pressure that you put on yourself, letting go of the fear, trusting, finding that trust amongst all the fear, amongst all the sadness, and having strong patience for yourself while you go through this very, very strong, very difficult transformation. And understanding that it's not always going to be this hard, and there's going to be beautiful things you're learning, and you're going to be a completely different person by the time you're done with this. We've got House 2, physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. This is what I'm talking about with the Queen of Pentacles, wanting stability, wanting to cultivate relationships that create stability, but also needing only to rely on yourself, independence, autonomy, authenticity, and valuing yourself and self-worth. It's a lot about strengthening your self-worth and your confidence. It's beautiful. Aquarius, which is me. Originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. There's something here about you doing something with this. Whatever this transformation was, you are meant to help other people move through this energy. Whatever you just did is so important. It's so integral is what I'm hearing Spirit say. Integral to what the world needs right now, what the collective needs right now. And there's something about you being an original leader, using whatever you've learned here and creating something very strong out of it. We've got fixed, stability, persistence, loyalty, and dependability. You may be a fixed sign, you don't have to be. And we've got Taurus, trust, patience, and sensuality. Yeah, this is, I said trust and patience. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. This is about, again, cultivating trust and patience and giving yourself a break, taking the rest you need, finding compassion, seeing how much you are changing, trusting in the process because it is a process. And this may be a big wave right now. You may be in the wave. You may be just coming out of the wave. It depends on where you're at. But it's like it will pass, but there's beautiful things that are being gained here for you. And I am so excited for you. And I'm also so insanely proud of you because this doesn't happen by happenstance. You have to work for this. You worked really hard for this. I think you did a lot of healing to get to the core part of you that needed to be seen, needed to be heard, needed to be valued, needed to be seen clearly with objective eyes. And you have done that, and you are doing that. And that is bringing about such a massive transformation that it is meant to change you. It's meant to change the world, and it's going to change your relationships, and it's going to change the situations that you're in, because you are valuing yourself at a core level and not being so hard on yourself and not putting pressure on yourself and not trusting yourself. It's like you are, again, I see butterfly, like you are like in the cocoon and like coming out as a butterfly, and the cocoon, it's not like the butterfly like dissolves, or the caterpillar like dissolves and like becomes another form. It's not like it's easy for the caterpillar in there, you know? So it's like understanding that wherever you are at in this process, there's something really beautiful that's being born of it, and letting it happen, and like letting yourself as much as possible like feel your feelings, see like all the things I've said: trust, patience, kindness, valuing yourself, continue to value yourself because you're doing such a great job. And yeah, I'm just really proud of you, Pal 4. I really, really am. I really am. Okay, guys, I think that's all I have for you guys, but please like and subscribe if you want, and I will see you guys next time.